recognizable feature of a human being or any other organism like height, complexion, shape of hair, color of eyes, and shape of nose and chin, are called characters or traits. The transmission of characters or traits from the parents to their offsprings is called heredity. In most simple terms, heredity means continuity of features from one generation to the next. Two parents, a male and a female, are involved in sexual reproduction. The sexually reproducing organisms produce sex cells or gametes. The male gamete called sperm fuses with a female gamete called ovum or egg to form a zygote which gradually develops into a young one or offspring, showing some similarities with the parents. Actually, the hereditary information is present in the sex cells or gametes of the parents. Thus, gametes constitute the link between one generation and the next, and pass on the paternal fathers and maternal mothers' characters or traits to the offspring. This relation that continues to exist between successive generations is referred to as heredity. Variations. Although the offsprings inherit the characters or traits of the parents and resemble them very closely, but the resemblance is not complete in all respects. The offsprings are never a true copy of the parents. In fact, no two individuals are exactly alike, and the members of any one species differ from one another in some characters or traits or the other. These differences are known as variations. So, from the biological point of view, variation is the occurrence of differences among the individuals of a species. For example, people have different heights. Their complexion, type of hair, color of eyes, shape of nose and shape of chin also show differences. The differences in the characters or traits among the individuals of a species is called variation. For example, human height is a trait which shows variation. This is because some people are very tall, some are less tall, some have medium height, some have short height, whereas others are very short. Here is another example of variations in human beings which involves eye ears. The lowest part of our ear is called earlobe. In most of the people, the earlobe is hanging and it is called free earlobe. In some people, however, the earlobe is closely attached to the side of the head and it is called attached earlobe. Thus, most people have free earlobes, whereas some people have attached earlobes. So, the free earlobes and attached earlobes are the two variations found in human population. Some amount of variations is produced even during asexual reproduction, but it is very small. The number of variations produced during sexual reproduction is, however, very large. For example, the sugar cane plants reproduce by the process of asexual reproduction. So if we observe a field of sugar cane, we will find very little variations in various sugar cane plants. All the sugar cane plants almost look alike. But in animals, including human beings, which reproduce by the process of sexual reproduction, a large number of variations are produced. It is due to these variations that no two human beings look alike except identical twins. From this discussion we conclude that the number of successful variations is maximized by the process of sexual reproduction. The variation is a necessity for organic evolution. Accumulation of variations. The reproduction of organisms produces variations. The variations produced in organisms during successive generations get accumulated in the organisms. The significance of a variation shows up only if it continues to be inherited by the offspring for several generations. This will become clear from the following example. Suppose a bacterium produces two bacteria by asexual reproduction. Again, suppose that one of the offspring bacterium has a variation due to which it can tolerate a little higher temperature or little more heat than the other one. Now, this variation of little more heat resistance will go on accumulating in the offsprings of successive generations of this bacterium. And this will ultimately give rise to a variant of bacteria which will be highly heat resistant and able to survive even at very high temperatures. The great advantage of variation to a species is that it increases the chances of its survival in a changing environment. For example, the accumulation of heat-resistant variation or trait in some bacteria will ensure its survival even when the temperature in its environment rises too much due to a heat wave or some other reasons. On the other hand, the bacteria which did not have this variation to withstand heat would not survive under these circumstances and die.